Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Marianne. I live here in Canada with my husband and two kids, ages 5 and 7. I make videos on simplifying life and motherhood through easy organization and decluttering. It is nearing the end of February when I'm filming this, so we're not quite into spring yet, but I like to call this sort of like pre-spring fever. The days are getting a little bit longer, which feels so good. However, it's still cold and you don't want to necessarily spend all day outside. So I am sharing 15 specific things or categories that are ideal to tackle during this season before actual spring fever hits and you want to like tackle your yard and start doing your vegetable garden and all of that stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. Category number 1 is winter outerwear. Coats, jackets, hats, mitts, whether it is in a closet, in a mudroom, in your garage, in a tote, in a basket near your front door, wherever you keep it. If there are winter outerwear items that nobody has worn this season yet. So we are however many weeks, we are 3 months, I guess, is that right, into winter. There's a good chance they will probably never be worn by anyone and they can probably go. That is one super easy category to tackle this season. Number 2 are things that have been in your freezer longer than maybe 8 weeks. Last weekend, I'm looking through my freezer in the basement and I realized I have 2 containers, 2 Tupperware full of cupcakes. We made these cupcakes before Christmas. And they're actually Halloween cupcakes that we were using up from Halloween. We didn't use them all, so I froze a bunch of them thinking I would use them and be keeping them for something special. Well, months have gone by and there have been no reason to use them, no special occasion. So last weekend, we grabbed one of the containers, we pulled it out, we made some homemade icing, we got sprinkles, we decorated them, we had them for dessert for dinner that night, and it was perfect. One of my favorite ways of getting rid of items that you haven't been using is to use them up. So whether it's food or shampoo, if you're holding on to something and it's something that could technically just be used, this is the perfect way to do it and still feel like you get something out of it. And use it up now before it's too late and it's gone bad and it needs to be thrown out. Category 3 are toys, but specifically toys that were sort of replaced at Christmas. So as an example, our youngest daughter, Annie Rose, got a Barbie camper for Christmas. It's huge, it's like bulky, it's pink, it's a Barbie camper. And she loves it and she's been playing with it nonstop. However, the year before, she got this Barbie car. So now she has her Barbie camper and her Barbie car. And a week ago or 10 days ago, out of nowhere, she just said, you know what, Mom, you can get rid of this Barbie car. I don't need it. I'm not playing with it anymore. So she knows at 5 years old, she has recognized that because she knew she got basically this upgraded version, she got the bigger, better version of the Barbie car, she got the camper, so she knows that realistically she's not playing with this anymore. And honestly, I think she said it because it was getting in her way. She wants to spread out her camper, she wants to get all the accessories out, she wants to set up the picnic table that came with it and all that stuff, and she knows that this one at this point is just getting in the way. So if tackling toys is like overwhelming to you and you think, oh my gosh, like that would take me an entire weekend just to tackle the toys in my basement, I get it. Just focus on what they got for Christmas and think to yourself, did this replace something that they used to play with and they aren't playing with anymore? And that is a good way of getting rid of maybe like 5 or 6 toys without having to spend an entire Saturday in your toy room. Number 4 is Valentine's decor that you did not use. So like I said, end of February here, so Valentine's Day just passed. And so if you follow me on Instagram, you would have saw that I made this cute little garland. However, if this Valentine's Day passed and you maybe didn't get out your Valentine's bin, you couldn't find it, maybe there was like 6 things in there and you only pulled out 2 because you think, oh, those other 4 just like aren't my style anymore. Go back to where they are, grab them, donate them, throw them out if they're garbage, give them to a friend, give them to your little sister who wants decor for her house. This is the perfect time to let go of Valentine's decor because it's fresh in your mind of what you did and did not use this year. Number 5 are books. So again, like to me, the winter season is definitely a time for reading. So there's a good chance if in the last few months, since the weather has gotten colder and we're spending more time indoors, if you have not been reading specific books that you've been hanging on to, maybe this is the time to admit that you are not going to read them and it's time to pass them on. One trick I have for books is if it's a book that you're like, oh dang, like I really do want to read this, I know I want to, but right now I have a newborn or I just started a new job and I know that like it's going to be a while before I actually get to this. Do I really want to hang on to it? What you can do is look up your public library, see if they have that book in stock, and if they do, then you know that even if you let it go, if you drop it off at your free little library or give it to your friend, you know that you'll still be able to read that book in the future when you have the time for it and when you have the capacity for it. So maybe giving away that book is not necessarily giving up on your dream of reading it, but really just giving yourself the space to think and have a calmer home and a more peaceful home. And then one day when you do have the energy for it, you can go back and get that book. Completely off topic, but I just read this book and it's a page turner. If you're looking for like a good, easy read during like spring break, it's a really good one. Number 6 are sweaters and jeans. So basically winter clothing. Similar to toys, a lot of people feel overwhelmed when the idea of going through their closets and reviewing clothes and decluttering clothes. That is a very sticky one for a lot of people. So instead of this ideal of having to like go into your closet and take everything out and review everything, like that's like to a lot of people that makes them feel nauseous, which I get. So just maybe choosing a category. Maybe it's just jeans, maybe it's just sweaters, but it's a good time of year to do something that's winter wear. And if you go through and you think, okay, like I know I have sweaters in 3 locations in this house, I'm gonna grab all of them, put them all on my bed, and I'm gonna go through and like actually look at the ones I love, I wear, that fit me, and that I know I will continue to wear. Same thing with jeans. If you're like, oh my gosh, I have 25 pairs of jeans, maybe your goal is just bringing it down to 20 pairs of jeans. So letting go of 5 pairs that you know do not fit, they've never fit, they don't look good, you hate the color, or they have a stain that you just can't get rid of, and it's like you're never gonna reach for them because you know of that stain. A specific category or theme to stick with makes it like a little bit less overwhelming. Number 7 are mugs. The winter and the fall, this is when we're having hot chocolate, hot apple cider, hot coffee, hot tea. We're having a lot of hot drinks during these colder weather. So if you have mugs that over the last 4 months have still not been used, if they're up super high or they're in behind or they've been gathering a lot of dust or they're broken and you've never got around to fixing them, this is a good time of year to admit, if I'm not using this in the month of January, chances are I'm not going to be using it in July or August or ever again. So mugs, mugs, mugs. Number 8 are puzzles and board games. Again, this is a very like indoor activity that a lot of people do over the winter. Puzzles, board games, they play things with their family. And if there are a pile that you have not reached for in a very long time, or your kids have outgrown, or you have already done 3 times and you know, like, I'm never gonna do that puzzle again, or you know it's missing 16 pieces, or you know that you have, 10 decks of cards and like half of them are missing 6 cards each. Sit down, go through, figure out which decks are full, figure out which board games are complete and which ones maybe either need to go in the garbage or can be let go of and given to another family. Number 9 is paperwork. And the reason this is a good season to do paperwork is it's tax season. The way we organize our paperwork is pretty simple. Scott and I each have a like file tote that's like one of these traditional kind of things that you'd get like at Walmart. I don't even remember. We both had them since before we were together. This is Scott's, mine is downstairs. And my rule of thumb for paperwork is if we have too much that we can't fit it in our bins, then we need to get rid of some. So if I'm like all of a sudden thinking, oh, I can't like shove that last piece of paper in there, that means I probably can let go of like an entire year of tax. Like maybe I can go back and think, oh, why am I keeping my 2005 tax information? I don't need that anymore. I can let it go. So basically just creating boundaries on how much paperwork you keep is a good way to sort of manage it and manage how much you keep. Number 10 are blankets. The reason I love reviewing blankets is because almost every family has more blankets than they need or use. And B, I love them because typically just getting rid of 3 or 4 blankets will often free up a ton of space. So if you've been hanging on to blankets that maybe like a family member made in Afghan or you were gifted blankets, or it was like a duvet that doesn't really fit any of your current beds, but you kept it because maybe one day you will get a twin bed again. Things like that. This is a good time of year. If you haven't been using these blankets in these cooler months, then there's a chance you probably don't need them. So just going through and checking in your laundry room or your basement or in totes, maybe some bedroom closets, wherever you keep blankets throughout your house, go through and see if there's any that maybe can let go of. Number 11 are expired meds. So there's a very good chance that probably someone or multiple people in your house have been sick at some point over the last few months, or sick for the last few months completely. So probably your medicine cabinet over the season has got a lot of wear and tear. So this is a perfect time to just reset this area. Maybe you need to gather the meds from different areas of the house. Maybe they're in different bedrooms, bathrooms, maybe in your kitchen. It's so nice to have a really organized medicine cabinet, because when someone in your family or you are not feeling well, having to go through and dig around to find the medication you need is like not the ideal situation. So let's try to get this organized so that when you're feeling your worst or you're caring for family members, it is super easy to grab and find exactly what you need. Number 12 are clothes that kids have outgrown. So you might not be ready to go through an entire like reset of your kids' clothes because it's not a new season, but maybe they've been gifted clothing throughout the year, or they've gotten new clothing as they've been growing and nothing's come out. So their drawers or closets have become overwhelmed. So this is a good time to just kind of do a quick review and grab maybe like 5 or 6 items that they have outgrown. The way we deal with outgrown wear in our house is by having this bin or this bag. We've used bins, bags, baskets, whatever. We use whatever we have, but this is the bag we're using right now. And I have this set up in Leo's closet upstairs. Anytime the kids put a piece of clothing on and they're like, oh, this doesn't fit right, or it's too tight under my armpits, or it's too short, the pants are too short, whatever it is, I just say, okay, take it off. I grab it right from them. I put them right in this bag and I deal with it at a later date. So it's an easy way of getting it done in that moment without having to have put too much thought into it on like a Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. where you're thinking, oh man, like I just got to get to work. Like I don't feel like dealing with this clothing. Just throw it in your bag or box, your too small basket, and get on with your day, and then deal with it once it's full. And then you can make decisions about where everything's gonna go. Number 13 is tech waste, or maybe even hazardous waste. And this is like one of those super tedious jobs that you will absolutely not want to do in August or July when you just like want to go to the beach or hang out by the pool. So going through, grab all those random cords. Maybe it's like even like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and commit to getting rid of 5 cords or chargers that I know do not work for any technology we have. I do not need them, and they absolutely can go. And because maybe the idea of tackling that whole category is just too much for you, but just getting rid of a few items will make it feel a little bit less overwhelming, so that when you go to tackle it another time, it's not as frightening. Number 14 are family photos. This is another perfect indoor job to do, like with a hot chocolate in your mugs that you're keeping, and you put a movie on and you just bring out all your family photos and you just go through them. So depending on where you're at with this category, it's gonna be different for everybody. Maybe it's a matter of just getting rid of doubles, or maybe I'm committing to getting rid of 100 photos. If you're thinking, holy cow, I have 20 albums, just start with small bite-sized goals. Maybe it's putting them into categories. Maybe it's putting them into albums. This is me when I was little. I think that was my sister's birthday. Maybe you have 6 albums and you're like, you know what, this seems overkill. I want to put them down to 2 albums or 4 albums. Or maybe if you have loose photos and you think, I don't want to sit here and put them through all of these sleeves of the albums, they do have little plastic, almost like little plastic containers. I'll put a link to those below. In our area, I think you can buy those at Michael's, is a big spot here for getting them. Number 15, our last category, are digital photos. So all the photos on your phone, basically, or on your computer if you have a lot on your computer. Going through and deleting photos off your phone is one of my favorite activities. It feels so good when you have like your deleted folder has 700 items in it, and then you go and delete all of those, and then your deleted is empty. So good. Feels so good, guys. And you can do this while you're watching TV. You can do it while you're waiting at the doctor's office. One of the ways I manage the photos on my phone is that every single year I go and make a album, like an album with all of our photos. Partly I like having the paper album so the kids can look at it and we can kind of review back at them. Obviously it's nice to have a memory, but one of my favorite reasons for doing it is that when I'm going through and just the act of going and creating the album, it automatically kind of forces me to choose and prioritize what photos are worth basically keeping. To me, if I have a photo on my phone and like if I don't think it's worthwhile enough to put into our family album for that year, then there's a really good chance that maybe I just don't need that photo anymore, and there's just like 5 or 6 others that I love way more. So this itself is a huge category, getting rid of photos off your phone. If that's only thing you do, you're still doing amazing. Those are all of my ideas. Those are my 15 ideas. I really, truly hope that that gets you motivated. Please comment below if you choose one of these categories and go forward with it. Tell us like which one you're doing. Tell us how you're tackling it, why you're tackling it. Maybe tell us once you've tackled it. Like, I want this to motivate you to get going and take advantage of this pre-spring season so that come spring and come summer, your home is going to feel amazing and magnificent and calm and peaceful. Thank you guys so much for being here. I so appreciate it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more, and I will see you very, very soon. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.